Sa video ito, pag-uusapan natin kung paano kukunin yung measures of central tendencies or yung tinatawag nating mean, median, and mode ng ungrouped and grouped data. So, bago ang lahat, let's define first these three. Mean is the average of the observations. Median is the middle observation when the data are arranged in ascending or descending order. Mode is the most frequent observation. So itong tatlo na to, sikat na sikat sa statistics, especially in descriptive statistics. So sila yung tinatawag na measures of central tendencies. This is the formula for the measures of central tendency na mean. X bar, which is the symbol for the mean, is just equal to summation of the x sub I all over n. This x sub I class, ito yung mga iba't ibang observations, individual observations na na-collect natin dun sa ating subjects or respondents. So to solve for the mean, we just add all the observations and then divide the sum by the number of observations. At ito yung ating formula. To make it clear, we have here an example. The ages of the selected athletes are 17, 19, 18, 21, 23, 18, 22, 18, 18, 22, and 23. Ito yung ating data, ages of the selected athlete. Now, what is the average age of the athletes? So, ang tinatanong dyan is mean. Letter B, what is the middle age? And this is the median. And letter C, what is the most observed age of the athletes? So most observed, ito yung ating tinatawag na mode. Napakasimple lang din mag-solve ng mean. So just follow the formula, summation of the x sub I. In short, i-add lang natin lahat yung mga observations, yung ages ng mga different athletes or selected athletes. So, add lang, no? 17, 19, 18, 21, 23, 18, 22, 18, 22, 23. I-add lang natin lahat ng yon and then divided by 12 kasi 12 lahat yung selected athlete. And then, ang sagot dyan, the sum of the age nilang lahat ay 236 divided by 12 kasi 12 sila. So the answer is 19.67. This is the mean. This is the average age of the selected athletes. To find the median, just arrange the observations in ascending or descending order and find the middle observation. If n is the number of observations, the median is just the n plus 1 over 2 observation. Yung ika, n plus 1 over 2 na observation, yun yung median. So, may dalawang uri yan. If n, or kung ang number of observations ay odd, yung median is the exact middle value. Kapag naman, ang yung end natin ay even, there are two middle observations. So, let's say, x sub 1 and x sub 2 yung middle observation. So, to compute the median, kunin lang natin yung average ng dalawang middle na to. That is x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2. Yun na yung ating median. To show this clearly, we go back to the same example just while ago. The data about the selected athletes, yung ages nila, which are 17, 19, 18, 21, 23, 28, 22, 18, 18, 22, and 23. So, the step to do that, we just arrange the data in ascending order. Pwede rin namang pabaliktad, descending order. Pero ito na, i-arrange natin sa ascending order. So, 12 observation. Yung ating end dito ay 12. This is even. So, ibig sabihin yan, dalawa yung magiging middle value natin. Yung ika 6 and 7. And then, itong ika 6 and 7 corresponds to the age 18 and 19. Ito yung ages na naka-arrange na siya from lowest to the highest. So, dalawa, 18 and 19. So, para ma-solve yung ating median, i-plus lang natin itong dalawa and i-divide sa 2. Or simply, we'll just get the average of that. So we have the median. First of all, yung position niya is 12 plus 1 over 2. And that is 6.5 observation. Yung ika 6.5, ibig sabihin, sa pagitan ng ika 6 and ika 7. So, andito siya. Sa pagitan din ng 18 and 19. So, following the formula, we can have the median is equal to 18 plus 19. Yan yung dalawang pinakagitnang value divided by 2 to get the average. And the answer is that will be 37 over 2 or 18.5. So 18.5 is our median. Ito yung pinakagitnang age ng mga selected athletes. Next, for the mode, wala tayong formula na sinusunod dito. Just find the most frequent or repeated observation. That is the mode. If there is no repeated observation, then there is no mode. Kapag naman may dalawa or tatlong repeated observation na pare-pareho yung dami, so ibig sabihin yan, pwede rin magkaroon ng tatlo, dalawa, or apat na mode. So again, no need the formula, just identify the most frequent observation. Now let's go back again to our data, which is eto, 1717 up to 23. So kung napansin nyo, yung mga data na ulit dyan ay, ayan, 18. Apat yung 18. Dalawa yung 17. So kukunin lang natin yung may pinakamaraming number of observations. So ibig sabihin yan, the mode is 18. Ito na yung ating most observed age of the selected athletes. So take note class, itong mga una kong sinolve sa inyo, itong data na to, ito yung tinatawag nating ungrouped data. Ungrouped dahil hindi na natin kailangan i-grupo sila kasi konti lang yung data. Kung napansin natin, 12 lang naman to. So, hindi natin kailangan na i-group. So, ginagawa natin yung grouping of data kapag masyadong madami yung data. Like, say for example, 50. We have 50 observations. So, we need to group that. But, we can also have the same result. So, again, itong first example na sinolve natin ay for ungrouped data. So this is computation of the central tendencies, which are the mean, median, and mode of the ungrouped data. Now, the next will be about the mean, median, and mode of the group data. So, bago yun pala, meron tayong example number 2 dito para dun sa ungrouped data. Just in case that hindi nyo masyadong nakuha yung example number 1, so we have here example number 2. Find the mean, median, and mode of the following data. So, hindi sinabi ko anong data to, basta ito na yun. Yung 7, 3, 6, 6, 3, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5. So, sinimplihan ko na lang para madali nyo ma-identify. So, to solve for the mean, again, i-plus lang natin lahat ng data na yan. 7 plus 3 plus 6 up to 5. Then, divided by 11 dahil kung bibilangin natin to, there are 11 data or 11 number of observations. And then simplifying that, sum of the data is 52. Then we will divide this by 11. We can have the result of 4.78. This is now our mean or the average of this data. For the median, una-una i-solve muna natin yung position. Kung saan ba naka-position si median kapag in-arrange natin yung data in ascending order. So, ito yung ating position, n plus 1. N natin is 11, kaya 11 plus 1 all over 2. That's 12 over 2, and that is 6. Ibig sabihin, ika-6 na observation. And again, pag maghanap ng median, ganun pa rin, we have to arrange the data from lowest to highest at hanapin natin yung ika-6 na observation. So, to do that, okay, this is our original data. We will arrange this. So, ito na yung na-arrange na. And nag-assign tayo ng number or position 1 to 11 para makita natin kung saan dyan yung ika-6. So, ito yun, ika-6, no? So, arranging, we have the 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5. So, yung ika-6 na data is 5. Dahil nga, add yung ating data. So, no need to add the average kasi eksakto yung ating median. the median is now equal to 5. So that's it. Median is 5. And for the mode, ganun pa rin. Walang formula na kailangan. Hanapin lang natin yung pinakamadaming observations na naulit dito. So ito yung data natin. Repeat lang natin. So nakita natin dalawa yung ating mode 4 and 5. Dahil yung 4, kung bibilangin natin dito, tatlo. 1, 2, 3. And then yung 5 ay tatlo din. 1, 2, 3. So pareho silang tatlo. Kaya silang dalawa yung mode. Now is the time to discuss the measures of central tendencies for group data. So again, what is this group data? Group data are those data which are grouped into classes or class intervals, and each class has frequency counts. Meron tayong dalawang uri ng solution how to solve for the mean of the group data. For a solution, we have the midpoint method. So ito yung ating formula. Summation of the f times x. Itong f natin plus, ito yung frequency, usually given yan. And x sub I, ito yung midpoint. N is the sample size pa rin. So now let's go to the example para mas makita natin. So ito na, we have here the data. Scores of the students in a quiz. So compute the mean, median, and mode of the data below. This one. So ito yung ating classes. So group na siya, 5 to 11, 12 to 18, 19 to 25. So, ito yung ating frequency. Usually, ito yung given class. Given ito siya. Kung hindi man given, pwede ring raw data. Then after that, you will organize that raw data into a frequency distribution table na ganito na yung style niya. And then after that, you can now solve for the mean, median, and mode using the different formula. So, for the mean, yun nga, yung una natin gagawin is using the midpoint method. Midpoint method kasi kukunin natin yung midpoint. Midpoint ng classes, halimbawa 5 and 11. So ito na yon. So magdadagdag tayo ng dalawang column dun sa ating original given data. So the column for x or the midpoint, and then the product of f and x, the frequency and the midpoint. So to solve this midpoint, kunin nyo lang yung average ng bawat class dito. 5 and 11, ang gitna niyan ay 8. Or simply, 5 plus 11, that's 16 divided by 2 is 8. So, i-plus lang itong dalawa. 12 plus 18, that's 30 divided by 2, that's 15. I-plus lang natin yung bawat lower and higher limit dito sa class interval, and then we will divide it by 2, or that is getting the average of each class. Yun yung ating midpoint. Kaya tinatawag na midpoint method. Now, next to that is we will multiply the frequency by the midpoint, and ilalagay natin dito sa pangatlong column ay fx. So 16 dahil 2 times 8 is 16, 4 times 15 is 60, 6 times 22 is 132, and so on hanggang sa pinakalas. 3 times 64 equals 192. We need to add the total frequency here. That is our n. So the n is 55. That is the sum of this frequency. Ibig sabihin, 55 yung ating students na nag-take ng quiz. And then we also add this fx here. 16 plus 60 plus 132 plus 203 and so on up to plus 192. The total is 1,113. Ito yung ating summation of the fx. So because ito yung dalawang kailangan natin para ma-solve natin yung mean using the midpoint method. So ito na yung ating formula. X bar, the mean, is just equal to the summation of the fx divided by n. So summation of fx is, we know the total ng fx natin dito, the sum, 2,113 divided by n na 55. So the answer is 38.42. This is now the mean of these scores of the students. The average scores of the students who take this quiz is 38.42. For the second method, we have what we call the coded deviation method. Coded kasi gamit tayo ng code dito, I think para mas madali, or kayo nang bahala mag-compare kung alin sa inyo yung mas madali. Either of the two, coded deviation or the midpoint method, pareho lang naman yung result niya. So ano lang na iba dito, we have in the formula x sub o. This is the assumed mean or the midpoint where the zero code is assigned. I, the class size. F, frequency of the ith class. and D, the code assigned to the I class, and N is the sample size. Para mas madali, okay, we will go back to the same example. Yun pa rin yung ating data. Gagamitan nga lang natin ng coded deviation. So yun pa rin, no? Nagdagdag lang ako ng dalawang column dun sa original table natin. E for the coded. Okay, itong tatlong column na to class, okay, nandun na sa ating first na method. So nagdagdag lang ako ng D dito na column at saka FD. Kasi ito naman yung kailangan natin para ma-solve yung mean nito using the coded deviation method. So this is it. Okay, we will assign 0 numbers na pasunod, no? So mas maganda kung mag-assign tayo ng 0 in the middle. Kahit saan dito mag-assign ng 0 class, walang problema, anywhere in this. So you can assign 0 sa gitna, pinakagitnang class. Pwede yun dun sa may pinakamadaming frequency, so depende kahit saan dyan. Usually nilalagay ito sa may pinakamadaming frequency. Pwede rin dito sa 10, so dito yung 0 dapat. Pero anywhere dito, pareho lang naman yan. And then, yung mga above the 0, lagyan lang natin ng mga negative values. So, negative 1, negative 2, negative 4. Pababa is 1, 2, 3, 4. So, pasunod yung numbers na i-assign natin dito. And then FD, after that, we will solve for the FD. The product of F and D, i-multiply lang natin frequency times T. And dito yung result niya. So, that's 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. 6 times negative 2, negative 12. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. 8 times 0 is 0. And so on hanggang sa 3 times 4 is 12. And then after that, we just need to sum or add all of these FD. I-plus natin to lahat, no? Siyempre, kung may negative dyan, i-minus natin yung negative dun sa positive. So, the result of this is 19. So, this is now our summation of the FD. And then N, ganun pa rin, 55. I. So, ano itong I natin? Ito class size natin. So, to solve for the class size, maghanap lang, difference lang ng any two consecutive classes here. Or lower limit of the consecutive classes like 12 and 5. Subtract this, the answer is 7. Kahit saan naman dito, 7 lahat yan. Kahit dito pa. 61 minus 54, 7 pa rin yun. Dito. 39 minus 32, 7 pa rin. So, kahit saan dyan na consecutive na number dito sa either lower class boundary or upper class boundary. And that is our I. And then, X sub 0, ito yung assumed mean ng kung saan natin nilagay yung code na 0. So, naglagay tayo ng 0 dito, meaning ang assumed mean natin is yung midpoint ng ating class na 33 to 39 kung saan natin nilagay or inassign yung 0. So, doon natin kukunin yung mean. Kaya 36, andito siya galing. Kung saan natin ilalagay yung 0, kung ano yung midpoint nun, yun ang assumed mean. And now, we are ready to substitute these values into the formula of the coded deviation method of solving the mean. So, ito yun. X bar equals X sub 0 bar plus I times the summation of FD over N. X sub 0 bar is 36. Ito yung assumed mean natin. I is 7. FD summation is 19 and N is 55. We simplify lang natin ito. We will start here muna. We can have 7 times 19 divided by 55. The answer is 2.42. That's the time we can add to 36. So 36 plus 2.42. Final answer is 38.42. This is our mean using the coded deviation. So kung napansin nyo, pareho lang dito sa mean using the midpoint method, 38.42. So, same lang sila ng result. Kaya kahit saan dito gamitin nyo, pareho lang naman yung result. Now, next, let's go to the median of the group data. So, sa median, ito yung ating formula, LCB of the MD. Ibig sabihin yan, lower class boundary of the median class. So, identify muna natin yung median class bago natin ma-identify ito. And then I, yun pa rin yung I, the class size, N over 2. Usually, ito yung mag-identify kung nasaan yung ating median class. And then CF, what is this CF? B, cumulative frequency of the class before the median class. And then F of the median class, meaning frequency of the median class. So, ganun pa rin para sa example. Let's go back to the same data that we have in the previous, the scores of the students in a quiz. So ito yung given natin originally, class interval, and then yung f. Isa lang yung idagdag natin dito na column. We have the less than CF or cumulative frequency. Less than, kasi mag-umpisa tayo sa from the lowest to the highest. Kasi ito yung ating lowest na class interval 5. So we'll start here. Para kunin yung cumulative. I-plus lang natin itong frequency natin. Okay? So 2. Umpisa tayo sa 2 dito. 2. Andun na. Okay. Plus 4 here is 6. Plus 6, 12. Plus 7, 19. Plus 8, 27. Plus 10, 37. 9 is 46. 6, 52. And then plus 3, 55. Yan yun. So, dapat ang pinaka-last dito is equal to the n din. Kasi pag hindi mag-n yan, so mali yung pag-add nyo. And then I, ganun pa rin yung class size natin, 7. Just the difference of the two consecutive class boundary. N over 2, so ito yung mag-identify actually. N over 2, so i-solve na natin to. N is 55. So, 55 divided by 2 is 27.5. So ngayon, hanapin natin dito sa less than CF kung saan na-belong yung 27.5. So hanapin natin yung number na next dito sa 27.5. Okay, and that is 37. Okay, greater than n over 2. Okay, 27.5 and that is 37. Yan yung greater than niya. Yung sunod na mas mataas sa kanya. If ever na equals yan sila, so dun kayo sa equal. Kasi ang ibig sabihin kasi ng 37 dito, this is from, yung previous natin dito is 27 eh. So meaning, 28 to 37, dito na dito. And then 38 to 46, dito naman. Since we have 27.5 na value ng n over 2, so dito siya belong sa 37. And then, ibig sabihin, ito yung ating median class, itong na-highlight na to, kung saan yung straight nung 37 na less than CF. Okay, now, to solve for the LCB or the lower class boundary of that median class, ito nga, ang ating median class is 40 to 46. So, 40 yung ating lower class boundary. We just subtract 0.5 dito para nakuha natin yung true lower class boundary. So, kaya ito, 40 minus 0.5, 39.5 yung ating LCB of the median class. And then, CF below 27. CF, cumulative frequency below. Kasi dito nga yung 37 tayo, dito yung ating median class. So, below that is 27. Kung ano yung kasunod niyan, mas mababa sa kanya, yan yung CFB. Cumulative frequency below the median class. Kaya 27 yan. And now we are ready to plug in these values into our formula. So, andito yung ating formula ng median. Okay? We have the LCB of the median class. That is 39.5. Andito. I is 7. Ayan. N over 2, 27.5. Yan yung sinolve natin dito. And then, minus CFB. CFB is 27. Yun siya. And then, over 10. Because 10 yung frequency ng median class. Saan galing yan? Andito. 10. Ito yung F ng ating median class na 40 to 46. 10. And then, simplify. So, mauna kayo dito. 27.5 minus 27, that is 0.5 over 10. And then next, 7 times 0.5 over 10 divided by 10 is 0.35. Sa kanyo ito i-plus dun sa 39. 39.5 plus 0.35, the answer is 39.85. This is now our median class. Next, we have the mode of the group data. So mode is having this formula, LCB, ganun pa rin, lower class boundary of the model class. O kanina median class, this time model class. Plus I times delta 1 over delta 1 plus delta 2. Ano itong mga delta na to? So delta 1, andito. The difference between the frequency of the model class and the frequency of the class above it. Above it. And then 2 nya, of course, the difference between the frequency of the model class and the frequency of the class below it. So makikita nyo mamaya kung ano itong mga to. So ganun pa rin the class size. Now, let's have the same data. So wala tayong dapat na idagdag na table dito maliban sa X, which is the midpoint, na na-add na rin natin nung sinolve natin yung mean using the midpoint method. So, yun lang din ang titingnan natin to solve. Nasaan dito yung tinatawag nating model class? Yun ang una nating identify, model class. Mode nga, di ba, yung may pinakamadaming observation. Now, just look at the F. Ano yung pinaka-highest dito na number sa frequency? We have the 10 here. 10, ito yung ating mode of the model class. So, ibig sabihin, ang model class natin ay 40 to 46. Ito yung group na tinatawag nating model class. Dito nabilong yung ating mode. For the LCB, ganun pa rin. Ang pinaka class boundary nito, lowest is 40. So the lower class boundary, true boundary is 40 minus 0.05 and that is 39.5. Pareho lang sa kanina. But not all the time ay pareho to silang dalawa. And then delta 1, saan galing to? 10 minus 8. So ito yung 10 na to and then yung below it is 8. 10 minus 8. O difference nito, yan yung ating delta 1. Yung delta 2 is the difference below naman. 10 minus 9. Dito naman. 10 minus 9 yung sa below niya. And then yung kanina delta 1 sa above niya. So 10 minus 9 sa below is 1 and that is our delta 2. And then I, ganun pa rin the class size. 12 minus 5 equals 7. Pareho lang yung mga kanina class size. Now we are ready to substitute these values into our formula. So mode equals LCB of the model class and that is 39.5. And dito sa solve natin dito, I is 7. Okay, nandyan. Delta 1, andito, 2. Delta 1 is 2 din. So, andito, 2. Delta 2 is 1. So, nandyan. And then, all we have to do next is to simplify. I-plus mo natin ito sa baba. 2 plus 1, that is 3. Then, after that, dito, muna tayo mag-simplify. 7 times 2, 14 divided by 3, and that is 4.67. So now you can now add 39.5 plus 4.67 equals 44.17. And this is our mode of this group data, 44.17. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. So, konting support lang guys. Subscribe ha. Sige. Salamat. And see you in the next video.